Good evening and welcome to my midweek recap here for the S&P 500 and plan ahead for the end of the week. If you remember from my previous video, I was holding the 16 May 262 calls here way over at the 200 SMA touch. Didn't get the greatest fill, but held through the pain, let the price bounce up. Expected consolidation at the 8 and 21, did not get it, ran right up to the 50 SMA, and once it rolled over on Tuesday, I did trail those out at 524. Ideally, I wanted to close them out at $7, but because of how long it took to get up there, even though it was only a day and a half, they only reached 670, and I actually left quite a bit on the table by letting price action roll back down and take me out once it came close to the 8 EMA. So greed got me a little bit there. Overall, it was a very, very profitable trade, so I'm not too upset about it. Just left quite a bit on the table there. Tuesday, got into another short swing play here, and hoped to have held it for a couple of days, but had some nice profits, had to close it out. 18 May 267 calls here into the close. As you can see, price action bounced off of the 8 and 21 EMAs right here at the basically the same exact point. Got in 195, took half off on the open. If I zoom in here a little bit, you can see when price action actually broke through the VWAP is what triggered me out of half of those. Held the other half. I expected the 50 SMA to hold. Almost closed out of fear on this little breakdown right here. Touched the 50 SMA, probably triggered some stops and ran back up and didn't even look back until later in the afternoon. Luckily got out here at 391. This was overall a very small position for this trade. I wish I was a lot bigger. I would have probably held at least a couple more to go into the close and possibly into tomorrow, but such is the case. I did not have a large position there, so I'm completely out of that for a nice gain. So overall, very good trade there. A couple of nice trades have now added up here in the S&P 500 for this week. I want to go here to the trade plan I'm looking for on Thursday. A couple things that could happen if price action opens up high near this trend line, expecting some sellers just simply because it's a trend line. There's also a long wick up here implying that there were sellers at around 273.25 roughly, plus this downtrending line on the daily time frame still completes a big huge triangle, wedge, whatever kind of pattern you want to think of it as. It is a very large consolidation pattern. Will most likely have at least some resistance there. If it blows right through there, I will have no problem chasing that, because that will tell me that the market makers have now caught some people on the wrong side. Some participants were shorting because it is simply a pattern. Their stops are just above, and they may run straight through it to test the next level up, which could be 275, simply because it's a nice round square, a nice round whole number to trade against. Maybe even 280 up here, which is pretty much this previous high. Closing in the day here on Wednesday, looks like a nice flag started to form, which does have a measured move up to about 272 roughly, if I had to guess. I don't have it drawn on there because it's not as clean as the flags I like to trade. So a break above here, I may chase a little bit. A break above 269.60. Ideally, I want to see it pull back down here to the moving averages. However, as I've said in the past videos, whenever I have a group of these moving averages coming together, which should at least imply a support zone where buyers may be, market makers like to run straight through it, touch some random number, and start to pull back up and catch both parties on the wrong side. Bulls buying here with stops below, and then shorts, the bears that like to trade on that breakdown for a retest and push it back down. So we'll have orders in this region here for 266 calls about a week out. Down here at this green line, this is the monthly 8 EMA still around 263. I'll look for 264 calls about a week out. And if price action does come back down to the purple line, which is the 200 SMA, I will look for 261 calls about 2 weeks out. Again, though, this I may have touched, actually I'm pretty sure I touched on in my previous video, is a very large potential W pattern, which most likely, if it does play out, will at least test this 280 level. Why do I say that? As you can see, a nice consolidation area at the 200 SMA, obvious support, put in what looks like a new relative high compared to the 200 SMA, has now touched it again. Very strong reversal candle, may put in a new high above this 271.5 level. If that does occur, that is also a technical trigger for a potential play up to this 280 level. So That will also give me a little bit more confidence to go ahead and buy above this 270.80 on a break above today's close. So for now, I'm going to try and be patient on the open for tomorrow and let price action settle down, show me what it's going to do. If it just takes off out of the gate and starts running, I may have to chase. There's really no other way to trade that. For now, that's my trade plan for the S&P 500. Have a good evening and good luck.